Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on where from you're joining to our next meetup, uh, our next TWF meetup. We have Piotr Komar with us, and he's going to talk about his journey with the first startup that he was a part of, Trawell. Welcome, Piotr, and please take it away.
Hello. So welcome all of our listeners, all of our viewers. So today I'm here to talk a bit about the Trawell. So my first startup journey, which started here in Krakow, and the idea, the application, which I will talk about today, is Trawell, a smart body in the tourist pocket. So it's basically the idea of a modern approach to city breaks. So we gathered our ideas all together and we thought, okay, maybe there is something that is missing, which the applications that already exist in the market are not providing to the customers. And this way we invented the Trawell. So this is the application which is helping in the city breaks and which is going to provide to the user the new unexpected places with something extra. And this extra thing we are calling the gamification aspect. So which place, each place, each tour, each category which exists in our application has its own challenges. And there are more features to come. I will talk about it later, but please associate Trawell with something fun, something which is not obvious, something which is challenging the user, and something which is helping to discover new rare places during traveling with some additional emotions to it. So when talking about the startups at all, first thing to cover is to answer for the most important question. So what problem are we trying to solve here? And there is actually more problems or more like challenges that we want to solve by our app. So first of all is that we as a tourist are always looking for some new local and interesting places because those ones which are very famous, which everyone knows, everyone is heading to, are always busy, always crowded, and sometimes we spend most of the time waiting in queue instead of actually getting the most of a given city or a given attraction. So we are providing the local and interesting places which are categorized and which also has its own challenges attached to it. Also, very often the tourist attractions which have interesting story behind it are not advertised as those mainstream ones. So that's why we wanted to focus on that fact and advertise them in different way. So not you know long descriptions, long elaborates about it, but more like challenges, something quick, something funny, something which will be more pleasant to the customer. And also, the third problem is that something that cities currently needs data, and they need to analyze it to to make it better. All of the tourist aspects, starting from the um, opening hours, starting from the transportation, starting from the offers, and etc., etc., etc. And knowing these requirements from the cities, we also try to make our application to also targeting those problems. So overall, we want our idea, our Trawell app, to fulfill requirements for the city breaks. We know that there are some applications on the market which are focusing on the city games, but we spotted that those ones are most targeted only for the specific city games. So there is this mode that we are not actually sightseeing, but we are more just focused um, on the city game itself, but we cannot switch on and switch off, in the moment that we want. But we just need to stay in this gaming concept. So we wanted to make it like less concentrated only about the city game, and we wanted to connect those two aspects. So add some gamification aspects, but not making it only game specific. Okay, so there is also some tourism policies which cities were providing for the 2020 till 2030 years, and especially I can mention here the Krakow, because it is the city that we launched as a first in our app, and the city government of the Krakow launched something like sustainability tourism policy. So here this quotation says that actually the cities are looking for some solutions, maybe some applications or some other high-tech stuff, which will be the tool for fulfilling their policies. And this is also some place that we want to go, that we want to cover by our application offer. So as you see, the need for such application is visible, not only in Krakow, but also in other European cities. So this is definitely the target that we want to aim. Okay, so we based mm, the idea of our app on some strong technical solutions, which will drive this application forward and which will make it unique on the market, and also which will take the new customers, catch the visitors, and also make us famous, I hope. So let's go for the first pillar. It's artificial intelligence mode. So with the invention or coming alive ChatGPT, lots of people try to use it tool for the tourism, but actually it's not always covering what we wanted, because for example, when we tried to take some create some places based on ChatGPT from Krakow, it was very often mistaken. So first of all, it's lied for us lots of times. For example, when we tried to create the Park Bednarskiego place in our app, and we just tried, okay, let's see what ChatGPT says for us about it, and it just said that there is some lake in this park, and we were like, we don't think there is any lake out there, but yeah, ChatGPT provided it. So this is not the our solution that we want to go. So put everything into ChatGPT and just copy paste the answers. No, we more just thought that each city that we visit, each place that we visit, and we are looking for some places, we are taking some challenges, and Trawell artificial intelligence model will learn about our preferences, about the categories that we pick, about the places and the time where we go. And by this experience, it learns about us, about our yeah, about things that we want, that we usually like to do, and thus it's always has something for suggest for us. It can also plan stuff for us, but it's only based on our previous things that we already saw. So it's not some centralized model which takes the data from the net. It's only learning by our choices. So this is the first pillar. And second thing, we just thought that actually planning our trip is very time consuming. So sometimes we have the time and we like planning traveling, and it's like our hobby. So we just it's our must that we want to do it. But some people actually don't like doesn't like it, and they just said, okay, I go, for example, to Barcelona. I see what will be there. I don't have any specific plans, so I also don't like spending time on the travel books. So yeah, let's just see. So here is the aspect which we see our chance in. So we just thought, okay, maybe based on our location and on our preferences that we put previously, we can actually show the places nearby us and present them more like in the way that user has very little stuff to do to find them. So we invented a kind of swiper, which is yeah, putting us the places which are the closest to our location, and we also can filter them by some categories and by other yeah, filters. And the third pillar is that mm, we love to try something local, something which is not overhyped, which is not mainstreamed, and we remember those things very, very yeah, we remember it like very much. It's always stay in our memories. So we just thought, okay, maybe we should focus on the local attractions and destinations and propose them to the users immediately after they are reaching the city. So this is always also something that we want to focus in our app. So as you see, those three pillars are our main uh, motivation and our main goals in the application development. And I will present in a moment how our app looks and what we developed so far. So let's just think about travel as the interactive tour in the form of a city game. So here on the screen, you can see maps similar to Google Maps, but those pinpoints on the map are the places that were introduced by some uh, tourist expert, which we hired. Uh, and also you can see that here, approaching to some place, there is some pop-up button which signals that there is a challenge nearby. So when we are interested in, we can take this challenge or we can omit it and continue the sightseeing. So currently when we are taking this challenge, we receive some quiz question, and after completing the quiz, we are receiving the points, and we can continue sightseeing or we can just finish in this moment. Also, what is interesting that we introduce the points which user is gathering throughout the application usage whenever he's completing the challenges. And we plan to exchange those points in the future for some extra rewards, for some discounts. We'll see. But we also provide the history of the places and also the ranking. So you can compete with your friends and with other travel users. You can switch like overall ranking or in the city. So yeah, that's how it looks for now. There are some screens. Um, and let's focus on challenges because we think that it is actually the feature that is going to catch some new users to our application, because in the tourism sector we have very strong competitors. That's why we need to um, be strong in some part of our market propositions, which will target the people who want to actually use this kind of applications. So as per challenges, for now we have quizzes. So each place in our which is available in our application has its own quiz challenge. So the types of questions are very different, starting from the historical, ending on some funny things to ask. But nevertheless, it's worth trying. I recommend it. Also, recently we introduced the photo playback, so it's like a photo challenge. So take some specific photo kind challenge, and it's also attaching new people for our app. And on the right side, there are the things that we are going to introduce in the nearby future. So treasure hunting, um, puzzles collecting, and some social challenges. We also plan to step by step introduce some simple games. For example, we thought about some like legends, for example, legends in the Krakow. So using something with the dragons, and other things which will be very interesting, especially for the younger users, to just catch them in our Trawell society. Okay, and the diagram which shows how we place ourselves in the Cartesian axis diagram, and we where we can see Trawell comparing to our competitors. And this is a very important slide, because in the in our startup career, the guys which were looking for our presentations, which were which were mentoring us, they very often looked on this diagram, and they just had lots of questions for it. So why we see we are something different than Google Maps, why we see we are different than TripAdvisor, and etc. etc. So I think this diagram shows what is our main goal. So as you can see, probably all of you knows the TripAdvisor, but the rest of the applications are not so popular, at least among my friends and the people we asked. But they have very large society. They have lots of users, and some of them, as for example the Questo, where for example the mm, they finished the same accelerator as our startup. So when we didn't know about this application before, so when we attended this camp, we just the guys told us, okay, but did you hear about Questo? We were like very like in shock. Why? No, we didn't hear about it. What those guys do? And then it occurred that they are also present in the Poland. So yeah, we also needed to took it into consideration, and adjust our plans, adjust our business model, so as not to be similar to those guys, because whenever one app is similar to the other, and the other is older, it's very hard to attach new users, as you probably know. But here I wanted to put your attention on some aspects of the Trawell which are not present in the competitors. So first of all, translations. We plan to support 6 languages. For now, we support Polish, English, and French. But this language, those languages will be increased. We plan to introduce the German, the Ukrainian also. And I think it's very stuff that people told us that it's very useful because yeah, not everyone like accept English. They prefer always to have their own language in the app. So that's what makes us different, for example, from Questo. Also B2B. So I will talk about it later, but our app is not only targeted for the B2C customers, but also B2B ones, that we provide some offer for those kind of customers, which is not present in the Questo. Also reports, so it's kind of B2C, B2G, sorry, aspect. So in the future, we would like to be able to generate the traffic and user preferences report based on our artificial intelligence model and on the user like picks, so the stuff that user picked in some situations. Also, the gamification, which is also known as grivalization or grivalization. Those are the aspects which connects us with Questo, but as they have very limited challenge offer, they focus only on quizzes. We plan to go deeper, we plan to go further, and we plan to go more customized. So we want to basically give the opportunity for the users to create something which they want. So for example, they have some story, they have some game idea, and they will be able to create it in our application. Also, the interesting movement is here, the TripAdvisor, because we also had this presentation very similar like 2 years ago. And before, TripAdvisor didn't have any AI aspects, but recently I visited Thailand, and actually the TripAdvisor, I just saw that it has some AI mode available. So it's basically that I'm putting the number of days which I want to have the plan established, and the TripAdvisor yeah, returns for the users the detailed plan, what to do in those 2 days, as also taking into consideration my current location. So our competitors also will go in the AI side, that's for sure, but we would need to yeah, make something special out of it. Okay, so this moment we went through the application idea to the business model, and yeah, we plan to operate in three sectors. So B2C, as on the first image, and our application is freemium. So for now, majority of the application features is for free, but in the future and also currently we introduce some paid stuff. And yeah, for now we are focused on gathering users. So yeah, that's why only a few things are paid for, but for sure in the future to monetize this application, we would need to think more about paid things in our application. But for now, and I think that it's always it has been always our goal to make most of the stuff as free, to be more accessible for the users and more appealing to those. And the second thing is the B2B. So we are not only the application, we are the whole infrastructure which stands for this application. So it's not only the mobile app, but it's also the web service, which we call Trawell panel. And in this web services, we allow people and contractors to create their own things, to create their own tours, to create their own challenges. So this way we plan to make our app available for the business, for the companies which want to organize some anniversaries, some integration games, some city games, for the museums, for the culture centers, which would like to use our application for the special occasions, and maybe in the future, which would like to, make some great things based on some new technology solutions, which we hope our application will already have. And the last pillar is B2G. So as I mentioned before, the reports which we will generate, but it's more like the voice of the future. For now, we have not enough users to make it working, make it even possible. So it's only the voice of the future. Okay, and now what's the situation currently? So we have free stuff, but we also introduced recently payments for the extra challenges and categories which are in our app. So most of them are free, but when we have something special, something which we believe is very, very interesting, then we are just making it, make the price for it, and the users would need to pay for it. But I want to also discuss what will come soon. First is contribution. So we plan to open the application for the users and say, okay, guys, maybe you have some interesting stories, for example, that your grandmother told you, or that your mother told you, or any of your friends, and just, okay, you're just thinking, okay, why it's only in his memory? It's so interesting story. Let's make it available for the users, right? So also you can invent your own challenges for it. You can create some quiz. You can create some game in the future. So why don't you want to become our contributor and create your own story? So we will open the application for the users. So if like any user says, okay, I have some story in Krakow, and we are saying, okay, let's go for it. We are opening it for you. Also, tourism mind map. So we just thought that the city breaks and each of our trip is full of some interesting thoughts, full of some inspirations. And same as we have mind map, which is connecting our, let's say, thoughts after some conferences or other, like lectures. Why not making something similar to the in the tourism sector? So for sure we'll work on it. The third thing is challenge your friends. So assume, let's imagine you are going with like bunch of your friends to Barcelona, and you just say, okay, guys, we have 1 hour. We don't have anything to do. Let's play some small game. And then from now we have 1 hour, and let's compete which team will gather more points, will answer to more questions. As I mentioned before, points, we plan to make them useful in the future, and AI-driven planning. So we see this as quick alternative finding for unexpected break of our plans. So let's say it's suddenly started raining, or it suddenly something was closed, and we didn't foresee that. So our AI model should provide the alternatives in minutes, and make the full of our tour, instead of regretting that we missed something because of the weather and we didn't have plans or possibility to further planning. Also B2B, we are advertising our app as passive income for tourist guides. So we say, okay, if you are the tourist guide, let's create your own tour category in our app and earn each time someone buys it. And also for the companies, organize your own customized city games or events. Yeah, and all of it possible in our app. Soon we plan to introduce affiliation links, some advertisements, and also some customized games for anniversaries, and as I mentioned, cooperation with museums. B2C, yeah, something which is the voice of the future, but we want to partnership in city council organized events, so we will try to address those in the future. And the technology behind it, guys. So as I mentioned, we use Flutter as a technology for the mobile, but we, beside of our mobile and backend layer, we also have the Angular part, so our panel, so the place where the content is created, is Angular based, and we have also some tools that we wrote, so data collector. We are collecting some places from the publicly available resources. And then we are trying to adjust the challenges for them and the descriptions to make it more appealing to the user. Also, we are operating right now infrastructure-wise on the OVH cloud. And this is very interesting history because, we actually won it. So we won a possibility to store and host our application and store our data on it by the competition. So that's why our startup for first actually 2 years um, is not paying anything for the infrastructure. So I think that was very important to make the whole thing working. Throughout our history. And I can briefly show you how this panel look like. Only specific guys are allowed. And here, for example, we can see our data, so the total downloads and charts with the users, active users, and challenges which were completed in each month in our application. So as you can see, starting from May, we are growing, and we are not planning to stop, but let's cover it later. So I think I described the idea behind this Trawell application, but let's take some history lesson and let's see how it started. The moment that I joined my team was during the Casino Hackathon here in Krakow, organized by the Krakow Park of Technology. That was in 2022. Also, this time I joined Avanade, so I had like strong introduction in the company because this hackathon thing made me like I would not say famous, but recognizable. And I think this story was partially heard also in Avanade. That gave me the chance to talk about it. Then we attended a bunch of pre-incubation things, some camps, some online lectures, and I think very interesting trip was the Future Travel Summit in Barcelona. So we were not picked as top 10 startups, but we were among 100 most promising ones. So we had a chance to attend the conference, which were entirely about the tourism. And there we saw what actual impact those traveling startups are making in the Europe. And also here, very important pivot point. So we changed the plans for our application a bit to more business, to more gamification aspects. And then came very important accelerators that transformed us from just idea to actual product. So one accelerator in the Romania and the second one Kids Accelerator here in Krakow. I will describe them later. Also, we won some pitch fightings, which also gave us some additional opportunities, some additional money, which we could use for developing our startup and actually releasing it. So there is very important date. So I think 1 year ago, we released our application, our MVP version to the Google Play and App Store. So from this moment, we need to struggle. We need to solve the bugs, and it's like our second job. And we are starting to gain more and more users, more and more opportunities. And this story took us a while, but it finally ended well. So we were able to release the MVP. But during the way, there were so many steps, so many people that give us a help hand. I think if not so those people, we will probably throw the idea of making it. But we have here the startup which is available, and I think that's our success. So let's see how it started. So this is 4 of us. We met on the Cassini hackathon, which were organized by the Cassini. This is like European organization, which were basically dealing with some satellites data. And the topic of this hackathon was how to use the satellite data in the business, in the tourism sector. So we just met on this hackathon. We didn't know each other later. At least I didn't know the guys. Like our CEO here, Adrian, he knew other guys, but I was kind of new. But during the 2 days of the hackathon, we did a very important job. We discussed lots of stuff with our mentors. We learned how to do the business model, how to how to pitch. We also went to the city, and it was, if I remember correctly, the night of the museums. So lots of people were on the main square in Krakow, and we recorded a video, which actually helped us a lot in winning because we asked the guys what they think about our concept. We also produced some mock version of our application, and we have on the videos how guys are seeing this our mock and are asking us, okay guys, this is very interesting app, do you have it on the Google Play, on the App Store? And of course it was not there at that time because we just started this startup journey. But it motivated us to proceed with this idea and to make it all working. So also we won some prize, some money. So it also went for the initial budget, for the initial success for our startup. Second thing, it was a very interesting journey to the Prague on the EU Space conference. It was all about the satellite data and not very much about the tourism or the business. But we met there people from Poland, which actually attended this Cassini hackathon. So it was a nice message that, okay, guys, we didn't stop. We are continuing, we are working, we are developing, and something is going to be born there. So that's why they still had, this connection, this message exchange between us and between the guys from the hackathon. And we also took some pivot in there because we knew that the satellite data which is provided by those providers, it's not actually the way which we want to develop our application. So from this time we said, okay, let's look for some conferences, for some summits that are actually about the traveling, about all of the problems connected with that. And we found the Future Travel Summit, which took place in Barcelona. Very nice trip. We had a demo version which we also tested in Barcelona. We heard lots of lectures. We discussed with people our idea, and yeah, lots of connections found there, and we still have contact to those people. So as you see, the wheel was spinning, and we were more and more motivated to to release our application. And then it came a lots of interesting news for us because we applied for the Rubik Hub accelerator, which was far away because in the Romania and in some small place which is named Piatra Neamt. But the atmosphere and the startup ecosystem there was like very motivating, and we was like, okay, we achieved something, and we have a chance to talk with people which are very motivated, which are struggling to make their startups working, which are dedicating lots of their personal life to actually make it happen. So in there we followed the path which is like I think in the most of the accelerators. So meetings, discussions, integrations, business modeling, marketing, less lectures, etc., etc. But we also had a very interesting possibility to discuss with the investors, which started to asking us very different and difficult questions, like when you will reach the revenue point, when you will give us return if we will invest in your startup, how you are motivated, if you have enough professionals, and etc., etc. So lots of questions which you think you can ask, but as it comes for this moment, you realize that it's not so simple, and it won't be easy. You need to dedicate lots of things, but nevertheless, it was a lesson for us. And then something another good news came for us because we applied for the KMS, so Kraków Miastem Startupów accelerator, and it was like very let's say exciting, because we didn't know that very close to us, so in Krakow, there are so many very motivated, very professional people which are dealing with startups, and this organization was like improving from each like iterations of it. And we had very positive attitude. So they organized very like many of the very interesting meetings with people, with the business guys. For example, here on the screen, I had a chance to present our idea in front of the UBS business managers, and it was a bit stressful, but they asked us very I would say exact questions, which were not pointed to decrease our motivation, but which were more like saying, okay guys, you have very interesting idea, but just think about this and this aspect. Just think, if I would be a guy who will use your application, I would need this and this, and in this sector you are not mentioning this, and this can be your problem. So very different aspects which we learned here, and I think it was very important lesson for us at that moment. Also, lots of meetings connected with the technical solutions, with the practical aspects of conducting a startup. For example, some law issues. So how to create your company limited, what are the main, the most common problems, what are the funding. We also received some equity funding from the KMS. How to use ChatGPT, what are the marketing strategies, how to conduct some marketing strategy, how to pitch, how to present before the wide auditory, how to conduct the ideal presentation. Also, it opened us a way for networking, for new people, for new events which are organized and on which we had the possibility to organize our standings. People recognize us, and we always can have the people which remember us from this accelerator. So yeah, I think it was very important stuff, and I encourage you, if you have any idea, it's very it's very good to apply for this KMS camps accelerations, because they can give us very much of the information. So I would like to just present you the site of the KMS, and yeah, just you can see here on this page what you can achieve. I think they organize in February on March the um, interviews for the new startup. So yeah, if anyone has some ideas, feel free to apply. I have to say to you that people have very different and very inspiring ideas. For example, I think during this year, some guy invented the like energy slopes. He invented the tool which is going to clean them, or like remove some snow from them, or some reparation stuff. I don't know, but when you think about this idea, you think, okay, this is very strange, but at the end of the startup, there are people which are interested in investing in investments in this kind of strange ideas. So here, this is us, and you can see here what startups actually passed this acceleration. So yeah, I encourage you to interest in this kind of accelerations. It's always a very nice journey. Also here, I wanted to show you that we are also in the Rubik Hub data row. So we are on this wall at the startups which finished the acceleration. So yeah, another point which we are proud of. Okay, let's continue. So our CEO also participated in the pitch fighting club. He won it. So additional motivation to our account, and additional money which we could use to speed up the MVP release, and which are helping us right now for going further with it. Okay, so I think we came to the moment that I would like to talk about lessons learned from the accelerators. So first of all, it's very important to discuss your idea as as often as you can. So discuss it with your work colleagues, discuss it with some random people on the conference, discuss it on the Facebook groups, discuss it wherever you can, because the sooner you start to see the drawbacks in your idea, the sooner that you start to see why it cannot be the best idea out of your uh, out of your initial idea, the more time it saves you in the future. Because doing the startup in a way that you are doing it after hours, so our approach is very time consuming. So it's like your second job, and in some time you will realize that you dedicated so much time of it for this idea that actually if you will, for example, took another job after year one, but the other job is paying you, it will be more rewarding. But you never know when someone will see your idea and say, okay, I would like to invest, I would like to be a partner, I would like to buy your product. And when this guy comes to you, it's very, very satisfying. So this feeling is just worth it. And also, taking the pivots is not a shame. Like, it's not something that you need to be afraid of. So your initial idea was not 100% good, and you took the pivot and you change it. It's nothing bad in it. Um, the second argument is to set realistic goals in short time frames. So don't plan that in 1 year I would like to be this and this. I would like to have this and this downloads. Please plan it. In 1 month, I want to have this feature in my application. In 2 months, I want to have 500 users. Or in like half year, I want to work on the UI. So those are like more realistic time frames for your challenges, because it's very hard to mm, set some long term goals, and it's more motivating that you have something which in the short time gives you the positive result, or the negative one, but then you are taking the quick lesson instead of the long one. Also, accelerators are focusing on work, like pulling the best out of your idea, and the moment that you need to present it is a pitch on the demo day. So this is the day when you are gathering everything that you learn, and your goal is to convince the investors that they should try your product. At least try, but like in a real situation, it's very hard, because most of the investors are like taking one, maybe two startups out of 20, and they are very quickly um, scanning the startups that they wouldn't like to invest in the future. And also something that use the maximum of the time available with your mentors and experts. So sometimes we believe in the startup that we know something the best, and we don't need to listen to the mentors, because he's not fond of actually our idea, and he's trying to make something according to his vision. But remember that this accelerator is like aiming to make the most out of your mentor time, out of the experts that were provided for your service. Okay, so I want to just mention what is our current status. So for now we have 861 downloads, but I took a look and it was 862. So by the time I created this presentation, like finished it today, and now we gained one user, so thanks. And we have over 80 active users, so it's also some positive movement. Besides, we have 7 cities available in the app, and this number is only increasing. We are trying to make our offer in the cities bigger and bigger. We are trying to invent newer challenges, and also we would need to run the marketing campaign in the rest of the cities. Also, some success from the B2B side. So we have already two B2B contracts signed, and we are discussing in the middle of the discussion with the more companies to sign. So hopefully we will have those contracts. And it's very important for us currently, because we are basically getting base amount of money from the B2B contracts. So we would need to go further this way. So if you have any company, or if you have any like anniversary, any occasion, any event that you think our app will can serve, let's connect. we will be very eager to cooperate and to talk. Also, we introduce the payments. So if you will try our app, you can buy the badge with some base amount of money, but uh, this money for sure will help us. So we are treating it as kind of buy the coffee idea right now. And also, we started the company limited, which means we can hire interns, and we have over 7 people which already participated in the internship in our company. So yeah, we are only getting bigger and bigger, and those interns are helping us and introduce some new ideas which we are considering. Also, our social media campaign is spinning. So we have a profile on TikTok. I don't know if you are using it, but Trawell_Adventures, you can see some videos. And also we have a profile on the Instagram uh, as well as in Facebook. But our main marketing campaign is on those two social media. So if you are interested, please follow us, please contact, please join our society. And what's next? It's actually always the best question, which I love to answer because we have so many ideas. Uh, but the realization is the other thing. So yeah, in the Q4 of 2024, we plan to gain 1,500 downloads, and we plan to increase our followers on Instagram and also on TikTok. And it would be perfect if we will sign one more B2B contract. And then it comes mm, the spring and the autumn and the winter. So Q1 of the 2025 and the end of the 2024. And that will be for sure a very active time because we need to create new challenges, new offer for the next year, new marketing plans, because next year will be probably the year in which we would need to start earning real money, start earning for this application to be, because our initial startup gains will end like opportunities as OVH cloud hosting or other stuff will finally end. So we would need to be independent startup technologically, especially because it consumes some significant amount of money. But then in the Q2 of the 2025, we plan to strike the market with some new offers. So yeah, stay aware, stay tuned. For sure, we will mix on the tourism market. And in the 2025, we predict that we will expand to the 16 cities. We plan to go over 5,000 of downloads, but I would love that it will be actually 2,000 more, two times more, sorry. And the B2B contracts needs to be also increased to the 8. So yeah, there is lots of challenges and lots of work, but we are not giving up. We see that our work gave the results. So I think we just need to follow it, invent interesting stuff, and the users will tell us if they are interested or not in the future. So also I wanted to present the team. So Adrian, our CEO, Michał, Jacek, and Anna, we are all working on this product. So feel free to ask if you have some people who wants to be interns in our company, or who wants to be ambassadors, contributors, or who have any thoughts about our idea. Feel free to join. And find us on social media and give us a try. Download the application, and feel free to leave your comment. Feel free to contact. We are open for every comments. And yeah, any questions? Mm,
I have one question. Can you
okay,
hear me?
sure. Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome.
Clear.
So you mentioned that you currently have 7 cities. Could you tell me which cities do you currently have, and which next year are you planning to include?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So we have Kraków, Wrocław, Gdańsk, and Warsaw in Poland. But Warsaw is not fully, let's say, covered. So we didn't officially run it, but uh, we have some data. So it's about to be released. Also, we have Bari, we have Paris, and we have Prague. So yeah, we started to take some expand to some other European cities. But I have to say and be honest with you that Krakow is the city which is the most which has the most places and the most built challenges. So in other cities we have I think much less users. So in the ranking, there are maybe 10, maybe 20 people who tried it. So not so much, but in Krakow we have like over a few hundred which already tried, which already visited some places and solved some challenges. So this year we focused on Krakow, but next year and like preparation for next year, it will be expanding for the other European cities. And maybe my question for you, which cities would you like to see in this application? Maybe some particular which you attended and you missed some offer that we are offering in our application. So
Well, for me, Krakow is what I need most. So I'm glad that it's the one that's sort of leading the race for the time being. Awesome,
yeah,
Piotr. Thank you for all the insights into how the startup uh, landscape looks like in Poland or in Krakow specifically, and for telling us all about the Trawell application. Uh, wish you all the best, and hopefully you'll be able to meet your goals and even exceed them in the coming months and years. Thanks a lot. Appreciate your time, and well, I'll see you later this. Sorry, probably sometime next week, next to
yes,
the
yes.
table tennis table.
Yeah, yeah, probably. I hope you will let me win, but we'll see. Okay, thanks you all for
We'll see
the
about that.
yeah, so thanks all for your attention. Thanks for your time, and it was a pleasure to present our idea in front of you. So take care, and yeah, stay tuned. Perhaps we'll meet each other in the future. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye bye.